Welcome everyone to another unboxing. So today, this is a massive box. It's a huge box of terrain. It's for Warcry, if you haven't guessed already, and it's the Savage Lands Souldrain Forest. So it doesn't look that massive, does it? It's only about that thick. You're thinking, right? No, that's where you're wrong. Look at the size of that! That's insane. Right, so I don't often brag and get the old tape measure out, but yeah, that is about 5.5 inches deep. That's got some girth to it. That's a big old box. So it's pretty weighty. It's pretty weighty, and this is the contents. So Souldrain Forest is a mat which you can flip over. So a lot of the mats that you get for Warcry has two sides, and this is basically a new set of Warcry terrain. So in the Catacombs box you had a mat and some terrain. In the standard box you had a mat and some terrain. You don't have to use the terrain that comes in those boxes. I mean, there are cards that you can randomly have a piece of terrain like top left, top right, things like that. You never know what you're going to get in Warcry. There could be a big gap in the middle, things like that. Catacombs, it's fairly obvious where things are going to go, because if it looks like a doorway, it's probably going to contain a doorway. But with this, you know, there's no limitations. You can put the trees wherever you want, things like that. But let's stop talking about it and let's just open it, shall we? So it's a very shiny box anyway, so normally I remove the plastic wrap so it's not reflective. So you probably saw my ugly mug there for a second, so I do apologise, but it is a very reflective box. So a few of these pieces you may remember from like the old AOS Temple set. So I've painted up in the past, and I have done an unboxing and a how to paint video for. So that was, in fact I think it was, yes, both these pieces, so both these sprues even, but it's still a fantastic sprue. I painted them up to look more like almost a limestone kind of colour, just to be a bit different. But yeah, I do like this set. It's got some nice runes in the side. So I have to say thank you straight away to Phil, you've probably seen on the channel already. Does a little bit of 40k battle reports with us, does some Warcry. I'm sure I can persuade him to do Aeronautica, because he's got Aeronautica. Phil pretty much has a bit of everything, as does most of us. But this is his set, and he said that I could do an unboxing video for it, because it's going to be on the channel anyway. He wants to paint it up so we can play Warcry on the channel. Our local gaming club, that's Bodmin Gaming Club, that's in the UK. We do have quite the Warcry following as it is. Hopefully we're going to do, now obviously lockdown's eased a little bit with COVID, we're going to do some more Warcry battle reports, because John has Warcry. There's loads of us at the local club that have AOS anyway. I know Marcus has Warcry, has Catacombs. We played a few games recently, which is always fun when you see models fall off the bridges and die. So yeah, I think you're going to see a lot more Warcry from us. Look at all the cracked effects on those trees. So that bark is really quite cracked. Because the trees we've had before from Games Workshop, the ones that slot into the bases, that you've probably seen in my battle reports as well, they're relatively smooth, they're a bit gnarly, but these, look at the roots on that. Got nice detail with the fungus there, I do like that. And they slot into these bases so they're less likely to get knocked over, which is always a bonus, because it will happen, especially if it's got a camera on it. So the roots kind of straddle the skeleton and stuff there. That sounds terrible, straddle the skeleton. Good name for a band though. If you ever use that, please tag me to it. That's right, I came up with the band Straddle the Skeleton. But no, fantastic detail. I really do like those cracking trees. Phil's going to do a wonderful job painting these up, I'm sure. Now, the previous trees that Games Workshop had, They came with leaves. You could put them on if you wanted to, you didn't have to. Now I know it's got quite a bit of branch on there, so if you don't stick the trees on, it looks like there's going to be some holes in the side of the tree. So you can see over there where my finger is, so a notch, you know where the trees are going to go, the branches. So I think these do have to go in. I mean, you could always trim the leaves off if you want to, but why would you? That's a lot better detail than the previous trees. Because I didn't stick the leaves on. I thought, because I'm going to be using it mostly for 40k, my trees, you know, they're going to be not exactly luscious and green. They'll probably be burnt within an inch of their lives with a flamer and whatnot. But yeah, a lot of branches. You can make those trees quite luscious. So you've got instructions at the bottom. It even comes with, which I didn't know about. So obviously the mat comes, which I'll unwrap in a second, but I didn't realise it came with more wounds and various tokens. So activation tokens. You also have tokens for the objectives, things like that. But I'll get rid of the shiny in a second. You don't need to see my ugly mug reflection in that. And I would imagine the destructions are quite basic. So yeah, the trees, 2 halves, slot into the bases, so you don't knock them over. And you start sliding the branches and the little holy holies. So it will become like that. So yeah, very easy to build terrain. Going to be wicked, and what a pile. So you have 1, 2, 3, it's kind of like Funhouse. 4, for those who remember, 4 sprues of leaves, branches, and 2 rather large sprues of trees. And then you have quite a bit of rubble there. So you've got your broken pillars and a few like icons of Sigmar that have been destroyed and laid to waste. So I'll unwrap the mat and we'll talk about that in a second. And because this is a new terrain setup for Warcry, like I was saying in the previous editions, you've had these type of cards where it states where the pieces of terrain should go. So you can see ruined pillars, trees. So when you pull your mission cards, you also pull one of these, and that is your terrain deployment type. So each one is, looks like ring of roses with trees, tree ents all holding hands. But yeah, there is a great big wad of these. So I'm not going to show you each individual one and bore you. But yeah, so when you play Warcry, you draw a mission card, you draw a deployment type, you draw a terrain type of card, and I like a twist card as well. Twist is always nice. Sometimes it throws a spanner and it works, but it's nice and fun. So yeah, that's quite a stack of cards as well for the terrain. And obviously we have the boards, we have the trees, we have the ruins. There's a lot in this box. There really is. So yeah, here's your tokens for wounds, and you notice on Warcry 1 wound, 3 wounds, so you don't have to have twice as many tokens. Your activations, so when you put them on weight, when they're fully activated, and obviously one side you don't know what the objective is, you flip it over. They're quite universal purposes, these objective tokens. This is the actual mat for Warcry, so I will zoom out. That is quite the mat. Trying to do it without smacking the camera is always a bonus. So I'll put this down. So on one side of the mat, we have something that looks like a riverbed, a dried out riverbed, and obviously it wouldn't be set in the AOS world, Age of Sigmar world, if it didn't have a bazillion skulls. So these little dots that you see everywhere, I will zoom in a little bit, see if you guys can pick up on some of that detail. It's like, where's Wally? There's a billion skulls everywhere. The occasional gnarly, branchy pile with some corpses in as well, as you do. And there seems to be a lot of spiders' webs. So all of this is spiders' webs there, over there. Tiny little red spiders scattered here and there. Yeah, so lots and lots of detail. And this is the standard layout for Warcry. You won't take up too much space with Warcry. Just the average dining room table is totally fine. So it's not like Age of Sigmar or even 40k when you need a big board. Because the game doesn't go on for that long. If you have a movement 4 model and you need to get to the other side of the table and you've drawn randomly to go this way, it will take a long time to get over. You know, you've only got 3 rounds generally to pull off those kinds of missions. So, you know, it would be a bit unfair if the table was massive. But no, the detail on this is fantastic. I really do like the rocks. They do look very, very realistic. And it almost looks like I'm going to hit the rock. But no, it is completely flat. Gorgeous mat. Really, really nice. So obviously, if you've bought any of the Warcry boxes already, you don't need this to play. But saying that, it does look flipping cool. So I'll put that one down. So not so busy. So this looks like very much like the old boards you used to get for Warhammer Fantasy, things like that. You know, the plastic 2x2, you know, 2 foot by 2 foot tiles that clip together. So that is that kind of feel. So it's still in keeping with that lot, but you can see underneath. It almost looks like souls trying to escape from this piece here. It's all cracked. And some kind of maybe ruined temple underneath there showing through. And you've obviously got a ruined temple on the surface there as well, which looks wicked. And of course, wouldn't be complete without a load of flipping skulls. So all these tiny little dots, which I'll zoom in again. Yes, I have to make the noise when I do that. Yeah, these tiny little dots that you see everywhere, those are skulls. So yeah, skulls everywhere. So the old fantasy board you used to get was very much kind of like this kind of pattern of terrain. Had loads of cracks like this, and the cracks were filled with skulls. So it's very much in keeping with the old boards. It looks fantastic. So it'd be great to put like the ruined temple pieces on this that would fit right in with the occasional tree. It looks brilliant. And on the other side, you know, the ruins wouldn't look out of place either, but those trees would definitely fit in. So this is wonderful. I mean, you don't need, like I said, you don't need to buy this for Warcry. But why not? Why not? I mean, the terrain is great. It works in 40k, it works in Warhammer Age of Sigmar, it works in Warcry. It is lovely. It's so good. And if you're starting off in like low-level skirmish kind of games, if you're playing Age of Sigmar or 40k, why not buy this? Because it's a fantastic mat. Maybe you're teaching your kids how to play. Maybe you're starting off for the first time yourself. Low-level pointed games. Why not play on mats like this? It looks lovely. It's not too astronomical prices. I mean, you do get 2 sprues of ruins. You get 2 very large trees, which are glorious detail, and a fantastic mat with loads of wound tokens and things like that. So it is quite an affordable price. So it's not out of this world. And really do rate the terrain. Like I said, those pillars and stuff I've already painted before. So if you want to know how to paint that kind of stuff, please check out the how-to guide. I will probably put up a link below if I can remember. And yeah, throw up a link of when I've painted it a long time ago. So my skills have improved since then. So please forgive me. And I think I've got a better camera since then as well, because it has been a while. It has been a while. But right, thank you very much for watching, guys. If you're interested and you're in the Cornwall area, if you're interested in our local gaming club in Bodmin, that's in the UK, by the way. So that's Bodmin in the UK. It's Cornwall, UK. So we're not going to get inundated with requests from all around the world. We do play 40k, AOS, obviously Warcry. We're interested in loads and loads of different board games. And yeah, check us out. Thank you for watching. Please hit that like button. And if you haven't done already, please subscribe. Take care, everyone.